You've gotten very good at holding things back. So good, it feels normal now. A thought forms. You adjust it. You choose the safer version. No one asks you to do this. Yet somehow you always do. And the longer it goes on, the harder it becomes to tell what you would have said. Nothing dramatic happens. No argument, no rejection. Just that tiny pause where you decide quietly to say less. It usually happens around people you care about, or people whose opinion sits a little heavier than you want to admit. You are mid-conversation, fully present, and then something shifts. You become aware of yourself inside the moment, your tone, your words, how this might land. So you adjust. Later, if someone asked, you might say everything was fine, and it was. That's the strange part. Nothing went wrong, but something changed shape internally. You left a small piece of the moment unused. You have been here before. You are listening to someone talk about their day. They mention something that brushes against your own experience. You feel a response form, clear and honest, but you hesitate. You can already sense how it might be received. Maybe it feels like too much. Maybe it might shift the mood. Maybe it would ask for more attention than feels appropriate. So you nod instead. You keep it light. You stay agreeable. You are not being passive. You are not being fake. You are being careful. And that matters. You are attuned. You read the room well. You know how to keep things smooth. People often feel comfortable around you because of this. Conversations rarely blow up in your hands. And yet, somewhere inside that skill, there is a tension you don't name, because you are also the one who replays conversations afterward. Not because they went badly, but because of what you didn't say. You remember the sentence that stayed in your chest, the thought that would have been honest but slightly inconvenient. You tell yourself it wasn't necessary, and maybe it wasn't. But the pattern stays. It shows up in meetings. You wait for the right opening, then watch it pass. Someone else says a version of what you were thinking, less precise but louder. You feel a brief sting, then relief. At least you didn't risk being wrong. It shows up in relationships. You sense a boundary forming, but you don't name it. You feel disappointment, but you translate it into understanding. You tell yourself this is maturity, and in many ways, it is. Still, there is a quiet contradiction here. You are doing a lot right. You are considerate, emotionally intelligent. You don't dominate conversations or demand space that isn't offered. You are often the steady one, the reasonable one. And yet, you are also often the one who feels slightly unseen, even when people are kind to you. Not ignored, just not fully met. That's confusing, because on the surface things look healthy. Over time, the moments stack. The joke you didn't finish. The feeling you reframed before it reached your mouth. The preference you edited so it sounded easier to accommodate. None of these moments matter on their own, but together they begin to form a posture, a way of being that leans back just a little, even when you want to lean in. You start to recognize yourself as someone who doesn't need much, someone flexible, someone low maintenance. You carry this identity lightly, almost proudly. It keeps things calm. It keeps relationships intact. But it also asks something from you again and again. It asks you to notice yourself and then step aside. At some point, you may assume this is about fear. Fear of conflict, fear of rejection, fear of being misunderstood. And those explanations almost fit. They sound reasonable, familiar. But if you sit with it long enough, something else comes into view. Because you are not avoiding connection. You want it. You are not hiding who you are. You reveal pieces, thoughtfully. You are not silenced. You choose restraint. What you are responding to is subtler. It's the sense of what is allowed here. Every relationship has an unspoken range, a bandwidth. Without anyone saying it out loud, you learn what fits inside it. How much emotion is welcome, how much honesty is comfortable, how much of you can show up without changing the temperature of the room. You feel this early. You adjust to it instinctively. And over time, you become very good at staying within those edges. The cost is not obvious at first. It doesn't look like loss. It looks like maturity, like social grace, like being easy to be with. But slowly it becomes weight. Not the sharp pain of being rejected, more like the dull pressure of always being the one who adapts. You begin to feel effort where others seem relaxed. You prepare before speaking. You translate your thoughts mid-sentence. You carry an awareness of impact that never fully turns off. You are not shrinking yourself dramatically. You are trimming constantly. Small edits, polite omissions, reasonable silence. And the strange thing is, no one asked you to do this. That's the part that lands late. No one explicitly told you to hold back. No rule was announced. No boundary was enforced. You sensed it. You felt the shape of the space and adjusted yourself to fit it. The force shaping you was never spoken. It was expectation, not imposed loudly but absorbed quietly. You learned over time what version of you keeps things stable. And you honored that version, even when it meant leaving other parts unused. Once you see this, something loosens, not dramatically, just enough. You begin to notice the moment before you stop yourself. The breath, the calculation, the internal edit. You don't rush to change it. You just see it happening. And in that seeing, there is space. Sometimes you still choose restraint. Sometimes you don't. The difference is that the choice feels cleaner, less automatic, less tied to who you think you need to be in order to stay connected. You realize you were never too much. You were just very good at reading what was expected. And people who move through the world with depth often carry this skill. They sense others. They adapt. They hold complexity. It's part of why they feel safe to be around. But depth also means knowing when adaptation has quietly turned into self-erasure. So maybe the question is not why you stop yourself in relationships. Maybe it's when, and what might change if once in a while you didn't.